Hey everyone, congratulations on making it this far in the class. Final exam season is officially upon us, and the point of this video is to kind of get your brain ready for the final assignment in History 1302. Now, the good news here is that the final exam is going to walk, talk, act, and feel an awful lot like the midterm exam, so there's going to be relatively few surprises, if any at all, okay? The best way that you can prepare for this thing is to refer to the final exam review guide, which you can find. You've actually had this all along on Canvas. So if you haven't done so already, what I would recommend is put me on pause if you need to, go into Canvas and then click on the modules button. When you're there, scroll down to exam resources and materials and click on the final exam review guide. That's what I'm going to be going through henceforth. Like I said, the exam is going to consist of a multiple choice section, a short answer essay section, and one long answer essay question. And let's begin with the multiple choice section because just like last time, the terms in that term bank that you're looking at right there, those are going to be the building blocks of my multiple choice questions. I'm not saying that you need to have a dissertation quality understanding of any, let alone all of those terms, but if you can tell me what the term was, and more importantly, how and why it fits into the context of our class, you're going to be fine for the exam, okay? Quick example, New Deal. If you're like me, you're a visual learner, I use note cards. Write down New Deal on the front of the note card, then flip it over and limit yourself 5 words or less. Franklin Roosevelt, economic stimulus, get people working, right? Demand side economics, things that are simple and easy to remember, but they remind your brain what that term is and how we've used it in this class. I think you see what I mean. So you're going to see multiple choice questions. You will also see short answer written questions that you'll answer in 2 to 4 sentences. Now, I'm not saying that if you write, 5 sentences, I won't read that 5th. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'll certainly read it. I'm also not saying that I haven't seen people write 1 sentence and perfectly answer the question. I'm just saying that if this is me and you want to prepare adequately, I would plan on writing about 2 to 4 sentences. Now, we did this the last time with the midterm as well, but there's one important difference. This time around, everyone has to answer at least one of the same questions. That would be the question involving 1968. Now, we have focused on that year, a lot in this class, and there's a lot of things happening. It's a watershed moment in American history, and I want you to interrogate it. And the good news here is there's a lot of different ways that you can answer it. Not only Martin Luther King, but also Robert F. Kennedy, the 2 leaders of the civil rights movement. They're assassinated both in 1968, and so this has dire consequences for the civil rights movement. The Tet Offensive, leads to the credibility gap in Vietnam. That's important. Richard Nixon was elected president. That's the Republican, first time in a long time. Things are beginning to change in America politically. So as you can see, I just rattled off a laundry list, and that was probably about 30 seconds. A lot of different ways that you could answer that question. Now, the other 2 questions, you are going to have a choice. Answer one or the other, not both. You can talk to me about the differences between Herbert Hoover and Franklin Roosevelt when it comes to their various approaches to the Great Depression. Keep in mind, Herbert Hoover clung to that concept of rugged individualism. Franklin Roosevelt introduced what he called the New Deal. Or you can go down the road of the Poor People's March. 1968, there is a Poor People's March to Washington, and what MLK is trying to do is not only refocus America's attention on civil rights, but also demonstrate that poverty is an American problem. It's not a black problem, it's not a white problem, it's an American problem, okay? So you can have your choice when it comes to that. Whatever one you feel more prepared to answer that one. Good news, you now know exactly which 2 that you have to prepare for. Lastly, is probably the most challenging part of the exam, and that would be the long answer essay question. Now, that question's not going to change. What you're looking at there, number one, ought to look relatively familiar considering I've been asking you that question since day one. Are we freer today in the current moment than when this class began? Just like on day one, there's a different way to answer this. It's not a one size fits all. I think that the same might be said for now in final exam season. Although you're sharper, you're more historically aware of what's going on and how we got to this moment, and your answers are probably going to be a little bit more complex and nuanced than when this class began at the beginning of the semester. In any case, I don't have a preset, right answer. What I want you to do is to bring in evidence. I want specific, concrete evidence, and I want you to tie that evidence to a firm stand. Yes, we're freer. No, we're not freer. Or it's some sort of combination of the two. Either way, what I want are specific items that are brought in and used as evidence to tie to your thesis, to your argument, okay? What you're looking at, if you look beyond or below that question that is listed in the review guide, what you're going to see is a laundry list of ideas, individuals, concepts, events. You get the idea. And what all of those things are items that are very highly relevant to this central question. These are things that I would consider including in my answer if I had to write a paper like this. I'm not saying that if you include all of them, you automatically get an A. And I'm not saying that if you don't include all but two, you get a D. That's not what I mean. I'm just getting at this is good food for thought right here. That list is good food for thought. Same thing goes with the 1 to 3 page suggestion. That's all it is. It's a guideline, it's a suggestion. It's me saying, if this was me writing this paper, I'd plan about 2 to 3 pages. That's an adequate answer under the circumstances. Now, speaking of the circumstances, because this is a tall task, I'm asking a lot of you to kind of, commit a lot of this to memory. I realize that that's not an easy thing to do, writing a paper like this on the spot in class like this, all old school style, okay? Which is why I'm going to allow students to bring in a 1-page outline. You can use the front and the back. You can write as big or as small as you want to. You can print the thing. You can hand write it out. It does not matter to me, but it cannot be bigger, or it can't be bigger than 1 page. You can use both sides, but it can't be bigger than 1 page. In any case, guys, that's totally optional. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. It's a courtesy. It's a lot like allowing students to use a calculator on a math exam. In any case, I hope that it does help you to organize your thoughts, because once again, the point of this question is not to throw a curveball by you, trick you. It's to get you to think critically about the course material that we've been studying for the last however many weeks. Anyway, I hope that this video has, on the one hand, helped you. You have a better idea as to how you can prepare for this exam. And on the other hand, put your mind at ease a little bit, okay? You have come this far, and you didn't get this far by getting lucky assignment in and assignment out. You can do this, but if you do have any questions, you know how to find me. I'm open to email. I've got my office hours. Please let me know if there's anything that I can do to help or to clarify any question that you have in your own mind. Good luck, everybody.